KD0OOE. I'm 14 years old, in 9th grade, and go to Peak to Peak Charter School, which is located in Lafayette, Colorado. Today I'm going to be talking about some amazing facts relating to defibrillators and radios. Although they seem like two completely unrelated and different devices, not only are they built using similar technology, but are built under the similar circumstances. In this presentation, we will be talking about the basics of radios and defibrillators. We will be looking at their similarities and differences. We will be looking at their applications in the real world, and we'll be combining their usages in life-threatening situations. Now you must be wondering what these two big fat ugly circles are doing here. Well, these are the two things I love the most: components and construction. Why? Because everything in our world is built using components, like our bodies and radios. So, when I was young, I loved constructing bridges, roads, cities, and whatever I wanted to build. And you'll be amused that I used to use components like CD cassettes, video cassettes, books, kitchen utensils, whatever I could find. And I adored construction so much that I used to build 8 to 9 hours straight without eating, drinking, or going to the bathroom. Sometimes my father would say, "Hey, will we get out of that dungeon down there?" And I'd say, "Never." And then I reached middle school, and I joined a ham radio club called Bark Jr. Guess what? Bark Jr. gave me access to more components, like resistors, capacitors, soldering, etc. And as you know, old habits die hard, so I kept on constructing cities and airports. Now I'm in high school, and I love computer programming and web page designing. And I use components like HTML, CSS, PHP, and JavaScript. But do you still think I'm constructing cities and airports? No, but now I'm constructing web pages. So as you can see, components have changed all throughout my life, but construction has remained to the core of my heart. I love construction. And in the coming years, I'd like to build my own technology startup with my abilities to construct and the components I've used. As most of us know, ham radio is a popular hobby in which licensed operators communicate amongst each other. Radios are built using basic electronic components and are used to transmit and receive signals. They're used for many purposes, such as communications. When you remember those two soldiers saying, "Do you copy?" or "Roger, Roger," they're actually using radios for this type of communication. Or in emergencies, when people scream, "Mayday, Mayday," or "SOS," they're actually using Morse code and radios to deliver this message. And yet, they're also used in broadcasters. Like when you watch your favorite television show, broadcasters are using radio technology to transmit that favorite show of yours to your local TV set. Or in space exploration. As most of us know, spacecrafts use in autopilot mode, and astronauts need to communicate with scientists on Earth. You remember Lowell's famous statement from Apollo 13? "Houston, we have a problem," was delivered using radios. As most of us do not know, but ham radio itself is a popular social media network, in which more than 2 million hams have found their own means of friendship. So what is a defibrillator? A defibrillator is a device that checks the heart fibrillation of a patient's heart. It is built using basic electronic components and is used to transmit and receive electronic shocks or signals. Believe it or not, but before defibrillators were even invented, doctors had to inject powerful drugs using injections directly into the heart. Ooh, gives me the creeps. And in the 1950s, doctors invented the defibrillator, in which nowadays is a common sight throughout hospitals all throughout the world. In the 1960s, doctors invented a portable defibrillator unit, in which citizens like you and I could use in our households. They're also yet accessible in public locations, such as libraries and rec centers. They're usually mounted on the wall. They're yet worn on the human body for patients that have a sudden risk of a sudden cardiac arrest in any moment of their life. Wear these devices. And in the 1970s, a mini defibrillator known as an ICD, or an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, and nowadays known as a pacemaker, is installed next to the heart and maintains the heart rate of a patient. So comparison. These two devices both transmit something. They both transmit and receive signals, such as a radio transmits and receives radio signals and waves, while a defibrillator transmits electrical shocks or signals. They both are wirelessly connected, such as when you talk to your fellow operator through the radio network, you're not communicating through wires, you're communicating through the air. And same with the defibrillator. A defibrillator does not deliver a shock directly to the heart. The nerves in your body carry that shock to the heart itself. They both need to be tuned. Without tuning your radio, you cannot dial to a certain frequency in order to communicate to your fellow operator. And without tuning your heart, your body cannot circulate blood. They both transfer some type of energy. Radios transfer energy via waves and signals, while defibrillators transfer energy via electrical shocks or flashes. And they both are used in emergency situations, such as when normal means of communications and medical services are not available. I thought this would be an interesting comparison. As you can see, as the wavelength increases, the frequency decreases, and vice versa. This trend can also be seen in Mother Nature. As the size of the organism decreases, the heart rate increases. For example, the hummingbird, which is the size of my palm, has a stunning heart rate of 1,250, while a whale the size of this room has a low heart rate of 6 beats per minute. Let me clarify that these are not two loving whales here. One day I sat down and was researching on the topic, and I found this image of two whales communicating via sonar. And then I realized, isn't there some type of radio in our body that helps us communicate amongst each other? And then I said, isn't there some type of defibrillator that regulates our heart rate every second, every moment of our lives? And then I thought, if we can integrate these two devices in organisms, why can't we integrate them in the real world? Now, all of us sometime go on our favorite vacation or adventures, whether it's skiing, snowboarding, or rafting, and we fall into an emergency situation. So why can't we have a GPS-enabled defibrillator radio device that even before the affected patient even knows something has gone wrong, a signal is sent to first responders, which then they can send an ambulance unit to the GPS location. Now, this idea doesn't necessarily have to be integrated outdoors in emergency situations. It can be integrated indoors in our homes. So why can't we have the device connected through our local Wi-Fi network and DSLR network so that doctors can monitor their patients 24/7 from the hospital itself? And from there on, they can tune the device from the hospital or send an ambulance to that unit. So what's next? Do you remember components in construction? Well, in the future I'd like to combine my knowledge of constructing and the components I've used in the past into one technology startup in which I could save millions and millions of lives. I'd like to thank the following people. My parents, Swana and Divyam Mishra, who listened to this speech so many times that they can surely deliver it in their sleep. My mentor, Paul Bailey, who refined the content of my presentation. Rip and Ellie, who gave me the opportunity of attending Bark Jr. and supported me. Carol WB2MGP, who gave me the opportunity of going to a convention for the first time of my life. And all of you for being here and showing interest in my presentation. And here are some additional resources in case you'd like more information about me, Bark Jr., or defibrillators. Thank you. Here is a